It's been 8 years since Jen and I had our very first face-to-face encounter at Terminal 5 in Heathrow. This picture is 8 years apart. We took one just the other day down at the Alex here in Felixstowe. And I did a post on Instagram with just some photos from my first trip to the UK in 2018. And I thought, you know what, getting a bunch of questions. I thought, well, I'll pop over here to YouTube and I'll take some time and elaborate on a little bit of our backstory in that first trip. But the 6th of August, or the 6th of August, 2018 was my very first time to visit to England, to visit the UK. And it was also the very first time Jen and I met each other face to face. We had been talking via WhatsApp for 10 months. Prior to that, we met in 2017 on a health and fitness app called TwinBody. It doesn't exist anymore. It was a brilliant app. I think it was based out of Norway or the Netherlands or somewhere cold, I remember. And they did such a good job with this app. It was, if you can relate, you've ever been in a situation where you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to go to the gym, work out, and you're posting gym selfies and stuff. Facebook and Instagram, after a while, kind of get old. You start feeling like you're annoying everybody with your gym selfies. If everyone's not doing it, people can make rude comments. And so I had gone through a divorce in 2015, I believe, somewhere in there, and had my 12-year-old son, my youngest of three, with me. And I was just gonna put my head down, work, pay the bills, raise him, get him through high school. And I had lost a bunch of weight. I started going back to the gym, was working out, getting in shape, that kind of stuff, and was looking for a community of support. And I was posting on Instagram and Facebook. And like I said, after a while, you feel like you're kind of annoying people and you're not getting the support you'd really like. It just starts feeling awkward. And so I started searching around to see if there were any apps that were social media based or that were social. And I stumbled across several, and some were meh, some were okay. It was funny because I started meeting the same people on all these different apps because apparently we were really searching for community. And when I found TwinBody, it was like, I found my home. And I was meeting people from all over the world, from Europe, from the UK, from Brazil, from Africa, just from all these different random places. And for this little Texan, that was, kind of a cultural awakening. And so I was on there meeting people, posting gym workouts, finding the encouragement I need, having a good time. And then, this photo of this very attractive woman popped up in my feed. And I noticed her. She was a little bit younger than me. And so I thought, she's not going to see me or notice me. But little did I know she had seen me. And after a few days, we go back and forth to try and determine who clicked like the first time or who was first. But one of us liked their photo, and then one of us went and liked the other photo. And then I think she commented, nice beard, on one of my posts. And then I commented on hers. And then a little bit later, she slid into my DMs. And she decided to ask a very safe question to see how I replied and responded to, if it was, if I wasn't keen, safe question, move on. And if I was, we would proceed. Well, she said, may I ask, do you shampoo your beard? And I replied affirmatively and was kind of shocked that she saw me, much less reached out to message me. And so we started a back and forth and just really hit it off right away. Her humor, she's the funniest person I've ever met. And just our banter back and forth was just what I needed. And we had some really good conversation. And then she introduced me to WhatsApp. And so we started chatting on WhatsApp because in the States, people don't really use WhatsApp. You use it, I think more people who travel are learning that to book hotels and stuff, especially in Europe, you need it. But the people in the US, the reputation is if you use WhatsApp in the US, it means you're cheating on your spouse or your partner. So I had never heard of WhatsApp, and ironically, it's Meta owned, but I digress. So we started chatting. That was November of 2017. And we just really hit it off intellectually, emotionally. I mean, obviously we were attracted to each other physically, but being forced to kind of communicate, to deal with a 6-hour time difference, The UK is 6 hours ahead of where I was in Texas, and so we kind of had to plan our days of when we could communicate and mix work in and things like that. And so we basically had this, I guess, online relationship. That sounds so cliche and weird, but we had an online relationship for 10 months. And so we started talking about a trip. And so I scheduled my very first trip to the UK for August of 2018. And so we chatted for 10 months, built this incredible relationship, and then I came over. And so I don't know when you're going to see this video, but right now it's the 7th of August. And so yesterday was the 8-year anniversary of my first trip over to the UK and our first face-to-face at Heathrow Terminal 5. And there's another story behind the shirt I was wearing, but it had bananas on it. And when I came out of the doors, I'm looking for, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, banana boy." And I knew that she was there, went over, and that was our first hug, our first kiss. And she grabbed my butt. And I think she said she was nervous, didn't know what to do, and just kind of reached down and grabbed my butt. We stopped at Nero there in Terminal 5, and Cafe Nero, I think it was Nero. And got a coffee. She texted her mom. I don't think he's a serial killer. And then that started 10 days of some of the best memories I have in all my life. You know, barring my kids being born, my grandkids being born, family things, barring all of that, for me personally, I'll have to think through this and maybe post about why it was so meaningful, but there were a lot of underlying things that go back to my past, my childhood, the trauma I'm working through, the healing I'm doing. This 10 days with her in London and then ultimately here in Felixstowe was incredibly therapeutic and healing for me. It was on many levels, not just us getting to be together. There was so much involved in it, but this is going to get long if I keep rambling. So, but that first trip, the whole point of this video was to just talk about that first trip because it was so amazing. It's a very positive core memory for me. For the years that Jen and I did long distance, I would occasionally go back and scroll through some of the photos I'm going to show you of that first trip, and it makes me feel happy all over. You know, you kind of have those nostalgic moments where you can go back and hopefully you have some positive experience where no matter how difficult life had been at the time, you look at those photos and you can feel the emotions again and feel the joy. And we did Jen's friend Michelle said, "You basically did all of the school field trips." And I was like, "Yeah, we did," but I was like a kid in a candy shop or a sweet shop. London, I fell in love with London immediately. We saw Big Ben, although there's a story behind not being able to find Big Ben. It was a weird trip because I was enamored with London and all the things there, but we were so present and focused on just being together. It was kind of like we forgot about, oh yeah, we got this scheduled and this thing we were going to go do. But we had our very first date planned at Hawksmoor in Kensington, I believe. No, Knightsbridge. And it was hot. It was one of the hottest summers you guys have had in the UK. Look it up. August 2018, one of the hottest summers you've had in ages. So I got to experience British heat that first trip. We were sweating. By the time we got to Hawksmoor, we were like, "Can we have some tap water, please?" And we're trying to be first date, first time being together, actually. We're trying to be all nice and polite, but we were just both wanting to just chug the whole bottle. We were so thirsty. Had a great first date and first day together. And then we had some excursions planned. We went and just wandered around, saw Hamley's, the toy store. They were doing a big Harry Potter themed stuff. Part of my backstory is Harry Potter tapped into something for me. I know it's a divisive subject matter anyway, but for me, it had some very meaningful things. So we also went to Warner Brothers studio tour of Harry Potter. And that was really powerful for me to get to do that because it was like she gave me permission to be me. And that was the first time I'd really allowed myself to do that and really fully experienced that as a person. And so going to Harry Potter World wasn't just a touristy thing. It was very symbolic of some changes that ultimately our relationship was helping produce in me. And I think that's one of the things that was so positive about having the 10 months of just being able to communicate online was it forced us to build some emotional and intellectual foundations in our relationship, and some connections, and it offered me some things that I'd never experienced fully or allowed myself to experience in a relationship. So we did some cool things like that, went to Harrods, and joked about the expensive prices of furniture, and just explored London. We went to, where else did we go to on that trip? We met a friend, one of her Jen is originally from London, and so we met her friend Laura. We went to a place called the Nightjar. Great ambiance, great atmosphere, but and this was 8 years ago. The drinks were overpriced and flamboyant and really didn't even taste good. And so it wasn't a positive experience. Then we went to another place called the Duck and Waffle, if you've ever been there or heard of it, and had incredible food, incredible views of London.
Keeps on going.
We met another spitalfields the next day and went to Spitalfields, went to Box Park, and I just wandered around one of the areas that has a lot of really cool graffiti. And just, it was kind of a blur, a whirlwind of things. I was just fascinated with the Tube. I fell in love with London, and I know it's all surrounding the fact that that's where we met and stuff. But to this day, if I go back to London on a day trip, the sights, the smells, like I said, this trip was such a positive core memory for me. London's intertwined in all of that. And so London is still a very powerful thing for me. Then we took the train and came to my very first time coming to Suffolk and the beautiful port town of Felixstowe. And we wandered around here, went to the sea the first day, and I just fell in love with this place as well. We did some excursions. I got to go to my very first castle, and that was Framlingham Castle. And I know there are bigger and better, and not better, but larger. And we have been to Edinburgh Castle since. But for me, again, core memories, that was my very first official castle. And so got to go to Framlingham Castle, went to Rendlesham Forest for the first time, had my first official full English as well as a Sunday roast. Wandered around Felixstowe for a few days. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. But that first trip 8 years ago holds so many powerful memories for me. Someone was asking me last night just about the distance. We did 8 years of long distance. That was because we both had kids that we were going to raise and weren't going to inflict an international move upon either one of them. And so we knew from the get-go, if it was serious, it was going to be at least a 6-year wait. It just financially and logistically turned into an 8-year wait, or 7.5, I believe it was, when I finally moved. But it was because of the timing of things, and in that 8 years, we did 13 trips back and forth. It wasn't all roses. We had lots of ups and downs, and I think in hindsight, we probably needed the 8 years. We probably needed the 5,000 miles. When we first started chatting, I think it was actually felt safer that she was 5,000 miles away and I was 5,000 miles away in Texas, because if things went awry, you could just kind of block that person, and you don't ever have to see him or speak to him. You're not going to accidentally run into him on the street. But as things progressed and got more serious, then the distance became annoying. It became kind of an inconvenience. However, I think being able to come over for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, experience a taste of life together, have some arguments, have some rows, rupture and repair, deal with the discomfort of the distance. I'll talk about it at another time, but we went through one episode where we didn't speak for 3 months. We didn't know, there were many times we didn't know if we were going to make it. And so international relationships or long distance relationships are hard, period. My son has found himself in one as well back in Texas. where his partner lives in Florida. And so it's not quite 5,000 miles, but he's dealing with some of the stresses and strains of being apart, getting little glimpses of what life would be like together. But then on the flip side now that I'm here, you have the new challenges of learning how to live together, although I think it's been fairly smooth, but now I have to deal with the distance from being away from friends and family back in Texas. And so it's not for the faint of heart. It is tough to be away from those that you love and not have unlimited resources where you can just go visit them when you want. So you do depend a lot on technology. But yeah, so this month, this week, I've been celebrating 1 year in England, 1 year in the UK, as well as now 8 years from that first face-to-face, that iconic, that's why I still love the movie Love Actually. Every Christmas I have to watch it because it's so relatable for me, and seeing those actual video clips of people meeting at Terminal number 5 at Heathrow International Airport, I know what that's like. We've had to say so many hellos and so many goodbyes that I'm truly happy to be here with her now. I miss my kids and my family back in Texas. But yeah, 8 years ago, my first trip here, not knowing what the next 8 years was going to have in store, much less now living here and what the past year held, as well as what tomorrow holds.